Rabbits, it's Trixie, and a couple of days ago I told you in a short video that I was pregnant again. Eric and I are expecting a second baby bunny. So of course this is a very exciting but also strange and worrisome time for us. And since babies are what's constantly on my mind, it's actually pretty difficult to focus on anything else. That's why I decided to combine this channel's concept and our current life situation, raising the important question, what is it like to be pregnant in Germany? I was brainstorming a lot, but thanks to my crazy pregnancy hormones, I found myself only thinking about the bad stuff. So this is going to be more of a rant video, I would say. Ask Eric, complaining is one of the things that pregnant women do best. I think what I'm trying to say is, be aware this video is going to be nitpicky. Overall, I have to say that the German health and pregnancy care is excellent. The medical facilities and techniques are advanced, and you are offered very helpful, long-lasting financial support. All great. However, as a pregnant woman, I'm often grumpy, skeptical, and most importantly, very sensitive. So there are some flaws that I noticed and that I would like to present to you today. And let's be honest, rants are much funnier than simple, "this is how it is in Germany" stories. Plus, maybe there are some foreigners watching that live in Germany and that plan to have children soon. I bet it could be particularly interesting for them to get to know the things that the fewest people talk about. The very rare things that don't work perfectly in Germany and that they should maybe be aware of. So here are some things that I hate about being pregnant in Germany. The first point I want to raise is actually more of an advice. Pick your gynecologist wisely. In general, I would say that there is a pretty broad variety of quality when it comes to doctors in Germany, and the same applies to gynecologists. During my first pregnancy, I made the mistake of simply picking the one that was closest to my home, not knowing that she was the most horrible doctor I could have possibly went for. So here's a little bit of story time. I took a pregnancy test, I tested positive, and I called the doctor's office to ask, well, when should I come in for a check? So they calculated the week of pregnancy that I was currently in and gave me an appointment. Unfortunately, the appointment was way too early, and when my doctor did the exam, the ultrasound didn't show much. I was 23, this was my first baby, so this scared me a lot. I just remember that I was close to tears, stuttering, but that's not bad news, right? It's just a little bit too early. However, this nice lady told me, I have no clue. Could be bad news. How shall I know? It's not my fault that you came in way too early for the examination. You didn't want to be patient, so now you'll have to worry. Come back in 6 weeks. What the heck? Your freaking receptionist gave me the appointment. Of course, I told her that, but her only answer was, yeah, sure. You cannot imagine how devastated I was when I left the doctor's office. It was absolutely incredible. After that, I tried my best to switch the doctor right away, but all the other offices that I called told me that they wouldn't take new patients anymore. I needed to wait 10 more weeks to get an appointment. But well, okay, so be it. So for the first weeks of my pregnancy, I was stuck with this horrible woman that obviously hated her life, her job, and every other human being on planet Earth. Until I could finally go to the new doctor and it felt like heaven. So that's another point. When you live in Germany and you're planning to have children, then please search for a good gynecologist beforehand. Read online recommendations. The doctor that I just told you about had horrible ratings. It was really amusing to read that afterwards, but I wish I had known that before. Ask around, phone the offices. Being pregnant is wonderful, exciting, very confusing and scary at the same time. You really need a doctor that you can rely on. Second item on today's agenda. Individual health services. Speaking about going to your gynecologist, it's normal to have several examinations and checks done. Ultrasound, blood tests, etc. The standard procedure. This already covers the most important things and usually your insurance pays for it. But there are also some optional things you may consider. Individuelle Gesundheitsleistungen, short IGL. Yep, you're right. Igel means hedgehog in German, but unfortunately, individuelle Gesundheitsleistungen aren't such a cute thing. It means something like individual health services. These mostly include bonus examinations, like more detailed or frequent ultrasound screenings, all with the purpose of identifying the risk for certain diseases or disabilities that your child may have. Or it could be extra tests for rare illnesses that may harm your unborn child. These, for example, include toxoplasmosis, cytomegalomy, or the slapped cheek syndrome. All of these diseases can be transmitted by daily life activities, like for example eating vegetables or fruit that haven't been washed properly, or the contact with little children. The thing is, these diseases are very dangerous but also pretty rare. Rare enough for insurances not to cover the tests for them. So if you want to be extra careful, you're gonna have to pay for them by yourself. Now, many people are lucky. Once infected, you're immune against all the diseases I just mentioned for the rest of your life. Others, like me, are not immune against any of these diseases. Yay! So I ended up paying around 200 euros for those extra tests during my second pregnancy so far. Now you may say, Trixie, you're obviously paranoid taking all of these tests. That's not Germany's fault. But just imagine my situation. You carry a baby under your heart and your doctor tells you there's a disease that you can randomly catch. It's rare, but if you do, your child may get severely ill or even die. You can take a test every 4 to 8 weeks to find out whether or not you have it, then you can most likely be treated successfully. But that's 25 euros each time, so I'd understand if you'd rather take the minor risk. It may be paranoid, but as a soon-to-be mom, this gets to you. And at least I cannot say no in this situation. I also don't have a solution for this problem, but what I can say is that these individual health services are stressful. They really put pressure on you, and you find yourself constantly struggling to see the right balance between playing it safe and paranoia. So if you are insecure about a situation like this, it's always good to have somebody to approach, to share your fears with. In Germany, this would normally be your midwife. You can basically start searching for a midwife from the moment that you have a positive pregnancy test in your hands. Leading me to my next aspect, you can start right away searching for a midwife, but it may happen that you never find one. Which is exactly what happened to me now in this second pregnancy. I don't know how many midwives in a radius of 20 kilometers around my house I approached, but not one of them picked up the phone, called me back, answered my emails. I'm 24 weeks pregnant and I don't have a midwife yet. The thing is that there is such a high demand that it's not necessary for them to call people back. And I'm also not the kind of person that's comfortable with annoying the crap out of people until she gets what she wants. It's more like, alright then. So yeah, start early as you can. However, during my first pregnancy, I was luckier. I had a very nice midwife and also a very nice doctor after I switched from the horrible one. So whenever I had a question, I decided that I wanted to be on the safe side. I always asked both my midwife and my doctor for their advice, naively hoping that their answers would match, which they basically never did. Hey, can I eat ginger? Sure, it's very healthy. No, you shouldn't. It can trigger early contractions and it thins your blood. Okay, cool. Thanks, guys. So what does the confused and a bit embarrassed pregnant woman do? She asks Dr. Google, which is always a mistake. Whatever question it is that you may have, you will find a forum where people discuss whether or not things are bad or okay, or it happened to them too and it turned out to be bad. In roughly 10% of the cases, the answers of those people may actually help you. The other 90% are just gonna confuse you more or cause serious panic. So why is this aspect on this list? Of course, I made the same mistake again. I checked those forums and I found out that the German forums, or the people there, are way more hysterical than the ones in English forums. A subtle back pain, a bleeding nose, you ate something bad, hair loss. It didn't matter what the question was about. The answer in the German forums is mostly, you better go to the hospital immediately. And yeah, I partly agree. When you're pregnant, you have to take care of yourself. You shouldn't risk anything and better ask your doctor. But there is worrying and there is freaking out. Just try to stay on the worry side. And I kind of feel that the English forums handle that better. At least I found more people saying, yeah, that happened to me too, it's okay. Don't be ashamed, wait one more day and then you can still see your doctor. Take a nice bath and it's still not gone, just call the hospital first. Let's see what they say. That's good advice in my opinion. Also, a little bit funny, English people seem to be more open towards nasty topics. I've had this slimy green discharge for 3 days now. Is this normal? Photo attached. Smells a bit like fish. Yeah, And yeah, that's a bit disgusting and not pleasant to look at. But let me tell you, being pregnant means having tons of unpleasant questions. So I'm usually thankful for those people that are very straightforward and not too judgmental. Yet another aspect that annoys me about the German forums. The German word for pregnancy is Schwangerschaft. Pretty long a word. That's why many people don't spell it out all the time, but instead shorten it to SS, which is just... Being German and knowing about Germany's history, I don't think I have to explain why I consider that a bit inconvenient. Now let's talk about some social aspects. One big problem I have with being pregnant in Germany is that some friends are just not happy for you. Like, when you tell them the baby news, they start comparing their own life to yours. Well, Paul and I also talked about having kids the other day. But we decided to wait for 2 more years or so. We want to save some more money, pay off the house, you see. Yeah, I see, but I don't care. This isn't actually about you right now. I just told you some very big news, and the only thing you do is talk about yourself. Also, I am much younger than you, so are you trying to imply that I made a poor choice? I know that they most likely don't do that to hurt me, and maybe it's selfish to think that a conversation like that should head into another direction. But I just hate that my baby news seem to trigger this urge to explain their own life situation in some people. They perceive my pregnancy as a sort of threat to their own social status or life plan, rather than just being happy for me. You know, it's totally okay if they don't like children. But even if I really don't like, let's say, pineapple pizza, okay, that goes too far. But even if they really don't like bread, I can be happy for a friend that does and just recently found a cool job in a bakery. I can still go on and enjoy my breadless life. So why would I get my friend down if the shared news apparently made him or her very happy?
Did you just compare babies to bread?
Yeah, well, especially in the beginning, babies and bread actually have surprisingly similar skills. I included this reaction aspect here because so far this behavior only affected my German friends. When we told Eric's Latin American friends about my pregnancy, they really celebrated with us. The same happened when I told Dana from Wanted Adventure about the baby. I could feel that she was genuinely happy and excited. And to be honest, that's what you want as a soon-to-be mom. Germans are not known for being naturals at expressing big emotions. But can't there be an exception for this one case? No over-analyzing and questioning your and others' life choices. Just pure happiness, please. Don't get me wrong, there are many ways to express this happiness. You don't have to dance and jump and scream and use 10 million emoticons on WhatsApp. You just want some nice, heartfelt words from a true friend. I'm gonna sleep less than 3 hours per day, change poopy diapers, wipe away vomit, get peed on and spit on and screamed at for at least the next half a year. So can I please have this one moment? A little bit of joy and you're special? Maybe some of you experience the same thing, like disappointing reactions from your friends to your pregnancy. Please tell me I'm not the only one. But what I just shared with you is not all. Related to that, even the friends that are kinda happy for you don't usually ask many questions. I seem to be a freak of nature because whenever a friend tells me that she is pregnant, I want to know everything. And I'm not doing this only to be polite or to give them a good feeling. I really want to hear everything because I'm a mom myself and I can relate. But even when I wasn't a mom yet, I was just so super curious. What does your feeling say? Is it a boy or a girl? Or did the doctor tell you already? Did you maybe choose a name already? How did you tell your partner? How did he react? When is the due date? What did your parents say? I don't know, maybe that's too much. Maybe that's a bad thing. But at the same time, I'd say that you notice quite quickly whether a person finds you annoying or actually enjoys the attention, and then you can act according to that. However, for some reason, most of my German friends did not show this behavior. They just said, "Congrats, I'm happy for you," but they didn't seem to be interested in anything else. And that makes me a little bit sad sometimes. Still, the two phenomenons that I just told you about are not that bad. It's a bit awkward, but I'm used to being around Germans, so no bad blood. But there is a third very unexpected thing that may happen to you. You will most likely lose some friends because you're pregnant. You share the news with them, they act as if they were excited or already make a stupid comment like,
"Oh, never considered you a child person, but okay. Congrats.
And then you may find out that they talked about you behind your back in a very bad way. Another true friend may tell you, you know, I spoke to Petra the other day and she was really mean. She said that you were pretty naive to have a child now because you're always fighting with Eric, and she thinks that you will most likely end up as a depressed only parent. And you're like, what? Phone, delete contact. Now, one little note. I don't think that is a German thing. I'm sure that you can find people like that everywhere. Still, I just needed to include this aspect in my video, because I can imagine that many pregnant women are watching, and I consider that a good thing to know. So be warned. Don't ask me why, but this may happen to you. And it's most likely not your fault. Or maybe I'm just a weird person, and the people that I call my friends actually hate me. I suck, my whole life is pathetic, and the world will come to an end soon. See? Pregnancy hormones! Well, except for the last part. I mean, have you read the news lately? Alright, rabbits. For some reason, I tend to make super long videos at the moment. Maybe that's because I have a baby inside of me and I'm making videos for two, same way I'm eating for two. Anyway, I really hope that you enjoyed this video. If so, please leave a thumbs up, because that would make me really happy. Are you maybe pregnant as well right now? What are your experiences in Germany? What is it that drives you nuts? Or would you say that I'm completely overreacting and everything is totally perfect? Let me know in the comments. Now, as always, you can follow me on Twitter, Instagram and Facebook, and here is a video that you should definitely check out as well. Subscribe to Don't Trust the Rabbit for more videos like this one. If you want to support my channel even a bit more, then you can also find me on Patreon. I would truly appreciate your help. Now, pregnant or not, I wish you all a very beautiful day. Check out my other videos if you'd like to, and hopefully we're gonna see each other in my next one. Bye!